Dr. Jorge Martins from the Information School of the University of Sheffield. Good afternoon. You received a grant in 2014. What was the project you presented back then?
Well, good afternoon in the first place. Well, the title of the grant was Drivers of Industrial Rejuvenation in UK and Portugal, Old Industrial Regions. So basically the project seeks to identify the competitive foundations in firms embedded in two specific old industrial regions in Europe. One of the regions is South Yorkshire and the other region is the North region of Portugal, and try to identify what are really the critical factors that enable the diversification of developmental pathways in firms embedded in these two regions, and also the role played by regional networks to support the sustainability of these industries, in these industrial clusters in these regions that have an industrial past. So this is the overall aim of the project. In terms of more broken down objectives, the project tries to map manifestations of this industrial rejuvenation through looking at exemplar firms. It also then conceptualizes what are the trajectories of these firms, and then it tries to identify what are the concrete roles played by regional network capital in facilitating this or enabling these different trajectories.
So it was really a regional study. So how did you learn about this RSA grant? How did you apply in the first place?
I'm a member in the first place of the Regional Studies Association, and I know that the Regional Studies Association is very keen to provide opportunities for early career researchers such as myself. So being an early career researcher, I seized this opportunity to apply for this early career grant scheme, since it enabled me with an opportunity to take ownership and leadership over my first grant and my first research project.
And do you think you had more opportunities having this grant, and did you open some doors, for example?
Yes, definitely. There was a lot of engagement with the participants and the informants in my study. These were firms, CEOs of firms, but also people working at other levels, but also stakeholders at regional level, so regional development agencies, local enterprise partnerships in the counterpart in the UK, and definitely there were bridges built that will be very helpful, not only for the context of this study, which is now coming to an end, but also for future research projects.
So what would you say to people wanting to apply this year?
I would really recommend, and I will strongly encourage early career researchers such as myself to apply for this scheme, because they will be equipped with skills, with resources that will enable them to become independent researchers, and that's the main objective of every early career researcher who is after their PhD. They really want to secure funding, and that's definitely something that the Regional Studies Association is very supportive for.
And after this first project, what are your future projects?
I think there's a lot of scope for growth and expansion of this project to other old industrial regions in Europe, and that's certainly something that I would like to pursue in the framework of other funding streams, possibly EU funding or even RC UK funding.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.